Today is my usual co-host, Tim Morse, Tim the Terrible.
Hello. That's right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you tonight? I am glad you're here. I'm glad we're here. And boy, oh boy, do we have an amazing show for you today, as always.
Oh yes, that's right. We will be reviewing Hitman 34 of the I Sing. Yeah, we'll be having more. We'll be having somebody else, a certain ringmaster, join the
Hmm.
F list. Until we got some, we'll be having a mail call. We got some comic
Yeah.
books, and of course, we got some comic book news. It's something how didn't seem to be much news throughout the whole week. The schedule wasn't looking like much, and then today, there were
Today was
multiple
the day
trailers.
for
Yeah,
news.
today
Yeah.
was the news
Multiple
days.
trailers, an official announcement for Superman Legacy. And a ton more. Did you see that, by the
I
way?
did not. You know what?
Ah,
Then
that
listen, you can surprise me with it.
That was breaking news, buddy. That came not too
Ooh,
long ago, less than an hour ago.
and we got somebody watching us. Hello,
Oh, is it Sapphire or
Brandon.
is it Sal? It's
It is
Brandon.
Brandon.
All right. Hey, Brandon. How's it going, man? Good to see you in the chat.
Yes, we always do like to have everybody in the chat, and everybody feel free to comment anything if there's something that you want us to know. Like I say, if we're talking about comic book
Mhm.
news, and hey, don't forget about this, or two, if we have a story we're reviewing and there's something you want us to review, feel free to let us know. We love to give recommendations here.
Well, I'll tell you, Brandon is a big Deadpool, Venom, Blade, Wolverine, and Carnage fan. So he'll probably recommend a lot of that.
Nice, hey, more than fine with me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then of course for everybody too, of course when we're doing the F list, or even just throughout any point of the show, if you have any
Mhm.
F listers you think need to join, feel free to let them know. Feel free to let us know.
And let me know every time my hair looks good. Thank you very much.
Tim, your hair is looking really good. It's looking really cool because it's really like appearing and then it's disappearing,
Well,
and I think it's very cool.
let's bring it into the forefront and get the star of the show out here.
There we go. Now it's showing.
And then we have Heather Reynolds. We see you
Hello.
too.
Oh, yeah, peekaboo.
But anyway, Sonny, how are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Ready for another show. And like I
Hmm.
said, this Hitman. Before we started, when we were chatting, I did say, I'm like, this is a story that I read a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, this would be interesting for us to review. And look at that,
Yeah.
the time has already come for us to review Hitman 34. Well, the episode. So
You know, with this, I don't know much about Hitman, and obviously we're going to talk more about this in the main show. But I am very glad you recommended this issue. I think you said it was hailed as one of the greatest single issue stories ever written. Is that right?
yeah, and it did win the
Yeah.
1999 Eisner Award for best single issue. So
Yeah.
it's on
Yeah.
those lists of the top one shots. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely be talking about that too. This is one I'm excited to talk about.
nice. And then for less than anything's going on here for the pre-show, Tim. And we'll get to. We also will be having our works. We do got
Hmm.
quite a bit to. Codex is always busy. There's always new videos, new things coming out, new
Oh yeah.
content coming out. Yeah, yeah, like
Oh
that quick
yeah.
short that Jamie posted from Uncle Gary's Imperium. That one that's over 2,000 views now.
In less than 24 hours. That is absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Talks about Brainiac's first appearance. It's really awesome. Jamie did a great job on the editing of that.
So it's good to see it. Yeah, and then of course make sure to check out the
Yeah.
full video. The
Oh yeah.
man, it is
It's 2.5 hours well spent. It won't feel like 2.5 hours,
no.
I promise you.
Yeah, interesting stories all around. Uncle
Yep.
Gary always has interesting stories to tell, and then too, just cool seeing so many different collectibles he has from many many decades past. Yeah,
Oh, and everything in there's two videos for Uncle Gary's Emporium.
yeah. There's the part two. Yeah,
Yeah, and both of those videos show a fraction of what that man has, and there is more coming. So, yeah, check it out.
yeah. And then Tim, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get the show going. If you are ready,
Hey, let's do it. 5 minutes for pre-show. I was ready 4.5 minutes ago. I am down.
nice.
All
Real
right.
quick before we do it, Dan Kelly
Yeah.
says, and more footage to be posted soon, or footage to be posted.
Yes,
Whoa.
absolutely. More footage to be posted. That is correct, because on the second one it says to be continued, and there's definitely more footage on the back end that needs to be worked on. So stick around for that. Okay, Sonny, if you're ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and do a different 30-second clip so
Oh,
that
okay.
way, yeah, I just discovered this,
Yeah.
so you guys get to enjoy it same as I do. We'll be back
Okay.
in 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me today is my usual co-host, Tim Morse, Tim the Terrible.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Codex Podcast. I am super glad you're here. I hope you're glad you're here too. We've got an amazing show for you, and Sonny's going to tell you all about it.
That is right. Today we will be reviewing Hitman 34 of the I Sing. Before that, we'll be having another horrible character join the F list, and that character will be the Ringmaster. The Codex Station has been up to a lot of work, so we will have a
Mhm.
little part of our works. I got some comic books, so we'll be having a mail call today.
Ooh.
And then before we will be having our previews, telling about what's coming out this week, what's going to come out soon that we're excited for. And of course, we got some comic book news. And I'll get us started with the rundown.
Uh-oh. Hang on just a second.
In breaking news, we see in the comments that Dan Kelly does not know what to do because there was no groovy bass tone before the show started. We had their little special alien things, but the groovy bass tone may be back, Dan, so don't you worry. In other
You
news,
you gotta mix it up every now and then, guys.
every now and then, sometimes you got to have a porn, or excuse me, a groovy bass,
Yeah.
and then start the show. And sometimes it seems like it's aliens. And hey, speaking of aliens, hey, that goes with a story since Superman is
Wow.
technically an alien.
That's right.
But yeah, so for some of the comic book news, the Marvels came out, and many are saying that it flopped, but maybe it didn't. Some people I know, like the guy right next to me, he saw it at the theater. So, Tim, I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. But
Oh,
also, there were
yeah.
some trailers that came out. The Echo trailer came out a little more than a week ago. We didn't
Mhm.
go too much into it, so we can go more into it today. And Echo was set to come out. All episodes are set to come out January 10th. And that is set to be TVMA. So, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then today, we also got two trailers today,
Yeah.
and that was the Madam Web trailer, and I'm sure everybody's super duper insanely excited about that. And then there was the trailer for What If Season 2.
Yeah.
And then Tim, right before we were getting going, you said that a huge news dropped about Superman Legacy, which I don't even know. So Tim, I'm waiting for you to inform me of what is the big news for Superman Legacy.
Right on. You want me to go ahead and jump right into that?
Let's jump right into it.
All right. So, according to Deadline, and this was written by Matt Grober, excuse me, and I'm going to mispronounce this actress's name, so I apologize in advance. Maria Gabriela de Faria, the Venezuelan actress best known for roles in Fox comedies Animal Control and The Moodies, has landed a breakout part on the film side, joining the cast of James Gunn's Superman Legacy. Now, her character, the one she's going to play, is Angela Spica, aka the Engineer. Now, if that doesn't sound familiar, the Engineer's debut appearance in comic books was in The Authority, Number one. So she is going to be part of the movie's villain team. Her powers stem from nanotechnology built into her body, and she was created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. Now, she's the second character to bear the name of the engineer, and the first was introduced in The Authority Volume 1, Number 1 in 1999. So there's that. That's after the actor strike is over. Thank
Yes, it's
God.
over, yeah.
That's that's
We can make some
wonderful.
money again.
Exactly. We can all get back to work and we can start producing amazing content, get paid what we're supposed to, and other things that are sorely needed for both the writers and the actors. This is great news. This is just another cherry on top of the awesome cake that is James Gunn's DC universe. Superman Legacy already is shaping up to be good. There's a lot of characters in there to begin with. This is just another one added to it. Whether she plays a minor or a major role is still undetermined, but I think it's more along the lines of major at this point.
I was gonna say maybe smaller, and then they lead it up to, like, okay,
Right.
later, then they start mentioning the Authority more,
Right.
because
But
you
but
gotta get
again,
somebody big for the first one.
yeah, but Superman Legacy is the foundation film for the DCU. James Gunn is doing. I think he's going in the right direction. Every piece of news I have not scoffed at or laughed at or turned my head sideways. It's amazing. It's wonderful, and it's slated to release in 2025. It is on track.
That's one I am excited for.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So other things that we were talking about, I said there was quite a few trailers. I did mention the Echo trailer
Hmm.
quickly. Like I said, how yeah, all episodes come out January 10th. Yeah, we didn't get to chat about it too much last week, but I think it looks pretty good. I think interesting that it's M8 that grabbed my attention. Like, okay, so it is more. It seems like it's going to be more like the Daredevil show.
Hmm.
And then you said that there was a quick glimpse of Daredevil.
It's a blink and you
I was
miss
trying
it
to catch it. I was like,
kind of thing.
where's? I
Like
was trying
there's
to look.
this I think it's this scene toward the end of the trailer where they're in some hallway or office building. There's an explosion, someone in front, and you see Daredevil diving in between these two collapsed structures like a desk and something else, and he just shoots right between both of them, and that's all you see of him.
I'll have to check that out again. Yeah, because
Yeah. I had to watch a breakdown to see it, and I was like, whoa, that's cool.
yeah, but I think it should be interesting. And I think they can do. I think it could have a lot of potential, especially with the
Hmm.
character of Echo being deaf. They could really
Oh yeah.
have a show that could be something great. And then also, she's a Native American character. And one thing I
Hmm.
like is that we're seeing more shows and more movies with more of a Native American with casts, more Native American stories.
Yeah,
So they can
definitely.
do a lot with her, especially because of her handicap with having one leg. The like I said, so they could really make something big out of Echo.
Oh yeah, I mean, Echo was never a major character to begin with, but the one thing that the MCU I think is very good at is taking these characters that are C or D list or just aren't used very often and turning them into A-listers. I mean, Iron Man, who should have been an A-lister, they did it with him. Uh,
Even look at Loki. I mean, he was obviously he was a big villain, but
right.
now he's way more popular than he
Oh
was
yeah. Oh
before.
yeah. And with people saying that there's MCU fatigue and all that stuff, I get that. I get that. Feige is stretched very thin, and I think hopefully they have learned their lesson about quantity over quality. Right? It needs to go back to, and they're already doing that. Less show format, 4 movies a year format kind of thing, or 3 movies a year, right? You need to pay
Yeah,
attention to what you're putting out. You need to put more focus on each project instead of taking a step back and letting a brain trust do the stuff for you.
yeah, because then when there's so much coming out, you're missing so
Hmm.
much. Then you kind of get used to like, okay, I'm ready. So far behind,
Yep,
I'll just whatever. I heard a
exactly.
rumor saying that so far Deadpool 3 is the only movie set for 2024.
That
I don't
is
see it being the only movie, but I've heard about it.
that is correct. So Marvel's movie slate next year, that's the only MCU movie we're going to get. And what a movie, right?
Yeah,
But the year after that, I mean, we're getting a ton of stuff. I can't even remember right offhand, but I know Fantastic Four is on track. Blade is on track
yeah,
again.
Blade, yeah.
TV shows.
Morbius 2, no.
God, that's the only movie everybody needs to see. Craven's coming out next year, I
Yeah,
think. We
Yeah,
got
me too.
Madam Web, which we're gonna be talking about here in a minute.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's we're not gonna be short of Marvel movies, just one MCU movie.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting. So,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking of webs, let's dive into Dakota Johnson's web with Madam Web talk. So, you did see the trailer. I saw the
Yes,
trailer, yeah.
I did. I shared it.
Yes, you were the one who shared it. And actually, some news in the comments. Dan Kelly said the next Avengers movie just lost its director.
Ah, okay. So see, it's a
How
day
do
full
let
of
me do it.
breaking news. Right. Sonny Kruger, writer, director, producer, PDF trophy winner.
Yes, I
Marvel.
got a lot of laurels.
This is your man right here. I don't know why your phone's not ringing right now.
I have it on mute.
Oh,
There you go.
hang on a second. Let me
I'm
answer
missing
this
the
call.
call to talk about this. Man, they're looking for a new director as they're calling me.
Feige can wait. The podcast is on right now.
Exactly.
So, what do you think about the trailer, man?
I mean, how would I put it? I mean, I'm not too excited for it. The one thing is, it's kind of interesting to see the different Spider Women. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of cool, like to see, like the Spider Women. I mean, the story. I'm not too excited about it. I think it's one that I'm not going to jump right onto. But the interesting thing when I was thinking about the Spider Woman is that, you know, the original Spider Woman, she made her first appearance in Secret Wars. So I almost
Mm-hmm.
wonder with all these different Spider Women, will this eventually lead to them making their way into a Secret Wars movie?
So, I have had my ear to the rumor mill, as you well know.
Give me that gossip.
You got it, Sonny. Sit down, get a Bloody Mary, and let's
Ooh.
talk. Uh, so yeah, from what I understand, they have completely redone her origin, Madam Web. So, like, this is brand new origin specific for the movie.
Because I was
So
saying, like, I didn't know she was a paramedic.
I don't think she was at all.
Yes, there we go.
So if you want comic accuracy already, it's shot out the window. She's young, she's not old. I know that was retconned later. But from my understanding, this is a Spider-Man-esque Terminator style movie, right? So there's going to be a lot of time travel, there's going to be a lot of time stone usage, right?
Yeah, I was hearing like
Rehearsal and
when I was looking at some people in there, it's like, oh, so and so was Ben Parker. I'm like, wait a minute. So Madam Web, is this supposed to
so
be before
So that is true. The guy from Parks and Rec, right?
Adam Scott? Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Scott. He is Ben Parker in the movie. That is very surprising. So, but the movie takes place in the 2000s, so already it's in the past. And yeah, there's Spider-Man is supposed to be the chosen one, right? As far as the spider totem and things like that go, and they're supposed to be chasing around trying to save him and other spider people.
Yeah. And then too, I said that the villain is Ezekiel. I wasn't too familiar with
Yeah.
Ezekiel, so I looked him up, and when I was going on Google to look up some of the characters, I see that they're popular searches. People are looking for who these
Oh
characters
yeah.
are.
Now, I can't remember the issue numbers. Dan, if you're still watching, I know you can throw that in the chat when Ezekiel appeared, but it was in the early 2000s during the John Romita and Straczynski run on Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2. So,
When I made sure to look him up, it made sure to mention on it's like, and his age is 57. So I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see. Dan said takes place in the 2000s and it's in the past. Damn, I feel old.
yeah, don't we all, Dan?
Yeah, I
Don't
was
we
just
all?
saying, you're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. Because I was like,
I-
wait, how could Ben be in the early 2000s? But I'm like, well,
right?
yeah, technically,
And look so
really.
vibrantly young.
And like, if we look at the year it is now, he technically would be older and old enough to have a
Yeah.
nephew in high school. Yeah.
So
I even if
so
he's even if he's in college now. So yeah, I'm like, man, I feel young.
I am excited to see the movie. It's not something I'm gonna rush out to see, but it is definitely something I'm gonna take my kids. I take them to just about every Marvel movie. This will be no exception. We didn't go to the theater to see Morbius yet, or at all, and we haven't seen it yet either. So there's that one. But yeah,
Maybe
we'll
they
go see
should. This
this.
is the sign. If anybody's watching, maybe they should release Morbius at the theater.
Yes, please do, Sony. Go ahead. We'll watch it the third time. We promise.
Yes, exactly. Same thing here, Tim.
Oh my god. So Yeah, I mean, beyond that, let's talk what if, man.
Yeah, the What If trailer looked good, and the one that got me the most excited. Obviously, they're showing different things. I was like, I wonder how the Thanos episode's gonna be.
It's Morbin time.
Yeah, maybe maybe it wouldn't that be interesting to have a Morbius What If, but no, since he's not in the DCU, they can't do it. But that'd be interesting. Truly, a Morbin. What if Morbius was in the Power Rangers?
Oh my
We'd be
god, that'd
hearing
be
it's Morbin
amazing.
time. Yeah, we'd be hearing it's Morbin time all the time.
Power of jugular.
He turns into a huge bat. There you go. That'd be his thing. It turns into a big bat.
I don't know where to go from that. What if season 2? It looks good, man. It looks really good. The Thanos episode, like you said, looks cool. Other aspects of it look really awesome too. The race scene, like where Gamora and Doctor Strange and all them were racing on the Mad Max style track,
Yeah,
that
because
looked pretty cool.
first I was thinking Twisted Metal, but I'm like, no, that's a race. So like say more
Hmm.
Mad Max style. That yeah,
Yeah,
look
or
interesting.
Death Race.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but it looks good. The first season was amazing. This season will be no different. I don't think. I think it'll be great.
And I haven't looked into it, but I'm interested about Black Panther because we did see
Hmm.
Black Panther in there. If
Yeah,
using someone else's voice or
I believe
is
so.
it- so
Yeah.
yeah, so that'd be interesting to see what they do. Yeah,
Mhm.
I always I love my what ifs, so
Yeah,
I'm looking
me
forward to that.
too. Yeah.
I need to get a what if shirt because my
Well,
roommate with me saying what if all the time. It's just I need to get you a shirt, and I'm like, there is a rule. I'm like, there is a shirt that says what if, so I
that's
didn't need to
wonderful.
have that shirt. What if?
Well, I like the fact that, like, the first season, even though the episodes were their own stories, there still was that, like, sub-story with the Watcher in the
Yeah,
background that all led up to kind of the last episode. I thought that was really cool, and this second season is doing that again, right, with that whole sub-story with the Watcher, and what did he say? Something along the lines of, "I am afraid of I'm afraid to narrate what happens next." Right, or
yeah. I
something
can't remember
like
exactly.
that?
It was something, and I
Yeah.
noticed at the end when it said what if, you could see the Watcher, and I believe was it Captain Britain or did they call
Somebody
it?
was standing next to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So,
there you go. Like a little something I caught. Yeah.
right on, yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of things we caught, so Tim, you did get around to seeing the Marvels, and like I said, I was
I did.
immediately seeing bad things about it, but then I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to somebody who's actually watched it and isn't just hating it just to hate.
So, let me tell you this, and, I'm about to piss a lot of people off, right? But I don't care. So, the movie's good. I'm not sorry to say that. The movie's a good movie. It's a very solid, well-written movie. Yes, there are plot holes. Yes, there are things that are sped up, or ignored completely, but overall, the movie is incredibly solid. Brie Larson is not a plank of wood walking around. She has emotion. There's great character development with her. The actress that plays Monica Rambeau, I cannot remember her name. She is the star of the movie. She did phenomenal. That movie is her movie, plain and
Hmm.
simple. She acted in every scene. She put emotion and context and built her character even more. Kamala Khan, I know a lot of people are annoyed with her, or whatever the case may be. This is her movie too. She stole several scenes and did a wonderful job, as an actress and building up, her character. Again, going back to the writing, there was a ton of character development here, and it was great to see. Excuse me. The action was on par. The special effects were great. The CGI was very good. The complaints that I have with the movie are small. Number one, the villain is a paper villain. There's nothing to her. I thought that was disappointing, and they didn't really explain, or I didn't catch whether it was, Rohan's hammer or not, or a hammer similar to his. Um, Her motivation is, summed up in less than a minute. And that's disappointing because the actress that plays that character is a wonderful actress, and she's married to Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Uh,
say, yeah, that's Tom Hiddleston's wife.
yeah, yeah. So she's got acting chops, guys. She knows what she's doing. A lot of people complained about the musical scene. I thought that was great. I laughed. I
Oh, I
had a
haven't.
great time watching that.
Hmm,
Uh, but the movie wasn't too short. The length, an hour and 49 minutes, was great for this. It could have been longer, and it wouldn't have bothered me. They could have put another 11 minutes in there, and it would have been just fine. The post credits scene is amazing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you haven't seen it, which Sonny, I know you haven't, so that's a major
not yet.
spoiler right there. But it opens the door, right, for a lot of stuff. And Sonny, we'll talk about this after show. Um,
Nice, yeah.
but
I'm hoping that character when he made the X symbol, hopefully it's Mojo.
it's long shot actually. So no, just kidding.
Nice.
Um, but no, the movie has its faults, like every movie does. There are very few perfect movies, right? I can count on one hand the amount of perfect movies that I think that are out there. But overall, the movie gets a very solid 8.5 from me. I thought it was wonderful. I'm going to take my kids to go see it. I went with my brother-in-law and my sister and their kids, and we all loved it. The one kid that didn't want to be there after the movie was over, him and I were walking out, and he's like, "Uncle Tim, that movie was great. That's the best movie I've seen all year. One of the best Marvel
Nice.
movies." That's coming from 13-year-old, right? It was wonderful. It was amazing. Go see it. Don't listen to the neckbeards. Don't listen to the couch commandos. Don't listen to the keyboard warriors. Think for yourself. That's what you have the noodle for. Go out there, watch the movie, make your own judgment. If you hate it going in, you're going to hate it coming out, unless you're pleasantly surprised, which I think you will be.
Nice. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
how I am too. I like what I like. Some things I like, a bunch of other people like
Yeah.
too. And then there's some things I like where not many people do, but I'm like, hey, I like my own thing.
I see. The
So
thing is I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll be happily corrected if I am. But I don't think half of the people that are bitching and complaining about this movie remember the before times, the dark times, when there were no MCU movies, when there were no Marvel movies worth a shit, when it was only DC movies, right? And it was only Batman and Superman.
Shaquille O'Neal is Steel.
Exactly. Guys, we went through the dark ages, right? We had Doctor Strange and the 70s live action Spider-Man and the 1990 Captain America, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, right? The sci-fi man thing. Come on now.
I still refuse to watch that, Tim.
No, you have to watch it. It's amazing. You have to. It's one of the greatest movies you'll hate watching. But anyways, aside from that fact, guys, we had a bunch of terrible Marvel movies before this, and people that are calling this trash and utter garbage, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I think you're using words that you don't quite understand the definition of what those words mean, right? Because it's not trash, it's not garbage. It costs $200 million. They're going to make that money back. They're going to make more back. And the people that are bitching and complaining are the same people that are going to be in the theater when I go see it the second time.
But what about that third time, Tim?
Maybe not. Maybe it'll just be me by then, but who knows?
Okay. And if Captain Marvel was replaced, if Brie Larson was replaced by
Hmm.
a really disgusting looking actress, what would your rating be?
It would probably be a 9 for comic accuracy. I'm just kidding. No, it'd be the same. It'd be the same. 8.5, maybe an 8. I don't know.
All right. I just had to get you with that because remember before when we were talking and Kristen was here and she's like, we get it, Tim. She's hot.
She is hot. There's no way around that. Come on, guys. You can't deny what's right in front of you. And I
Or
refuse to
can
do that.
or can we, Tim?
Well, you can, but you'd be wrong. So there's that too.
Well, speaking of people who are wrong, later on we'll get to the F list.
Okay.
But right now we're getting to some previews that are
Yeah.
hopefully good. Hopefully nothing that's too wrong. So Tim, when it comes to previews, anything that's got you really excited that is coming out today or in the upcoming weeks?
So, I mean, I said it last week. I said it the week before. Ultimate Spider-Man is tops on my anxious wait list, right?
Yeah.
What Hickman's doing with the Ultimate Universe, I think, is phenomenal. I am incredibly excited for this. Peach Momoko's doing X-Men. My chair keeps going down, so I'm gonna fix that. Um, but Black Panther, Spider-Man, Thor, so much more. Doctor Doom, right? Kang and all that stuff. I'm super excited for this. This just looks so amazing, and I am very happy to jump onto this new iteration of the Ultimates universe. Go ahead, Sonny.
I forgot to say one quick thing before with the what if when we were talking about season two
Mhm.
was that it comes out December 22nd and it will be 9 days straight of new episodes.
That's wonderful. Every day you get a
Yes,
new
every
episode.
day a new episode. But yeah, back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, that comes out January 10th, the same day as the Echo series.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a twofer right there. As far as new series go, excuse me. I haven't really seen anything new coming out. I mean, I know Punisher just came out a little bit ago. I have yet to read that. Um, but as always, I give praise to the series that I'm collecting right now. I just read Transformers 2. Transformers 2 is phenomenal. I use that word a lot, but I know what it means. It's an amazing book, right? Kirkman's doing a wonderful job overseeing all of this stuff, and the writer and the artist on Transformers, their names escape me at the moment. Uh, they're doing a great job, and if you're not reading it, it's issue 2 right now, guys, and it's wonderful. Starscream squishes people, and it's amazing. And spoiler alert, there's a GI Joe that makes an appearance in issue 2, further cementing the GI Joe Transformers shared universe.
Is it that guy who's like the huge worm?
No,
Let me
it's
take
not
a look at
globulous. But, once again, Superman, I think, is top tier DC. I say that every week, and I mean it. If you're not reading it, it's, below issue 10 right now. I think it's getting ready for issue 8. Or issue 9, one of the two. But either way, it's right at the beginning of a new storyline. Definitely go check that out. Dawn of DC, any of the titles that they're putting out there are great. I know they're gearing up for a new event closer to the spring or the summertime,
Yeah.
having to do with zombies, I think. So there's that coming out in the future.
I know
Um,
Jamie always likes the Action Comics. He always says that
yeah, Action
they've been
Comics
doing
is
really good.
wonderful too. It's all of it's good. Dawn of DC has been nothing but hits. Not all of them have been hits out of the park, but they've been base hits or triples or doubles or whatever. But they're good, right? Dawn of DC, they're doing it right for the big two. As far as Marvel goes, the new Punisher is out. I've heard hit and miss about that. I
We
don't
have a
know.
comment by our very own Dan Kelly. If you'd like,
Ah,
would you like to read it or should I read it?
go for it, Sonny.
There you go. Dan Kelly, the Codex Station's Dan Kelly says the Punisher was a waste. There's nothing that makes this character unique from Frank Castle.
Now, I will put a lot of weight behind that because Dan is a huge fan of the Punisher. So if Dan didn't like it, then I don't think I'm going to like it too much either.
Yeah, and Dan gives great reviews for the
Oh
Codex
yeah,
Station. Always giving reviews and not his honest opinions. So
yeah,
yeah, this
absolutely.
was I do take that into consideration. Yeah, because like last week we were talking, we were saying, hey, there's a lot more other Punisher stories I'm interested
Mhm.
in reading before moving on
Before
from
you
Frank
get to
Castle.
this,
But
so
yeah,
Dan, let me ask
hear
you
about it.
this while we continue to talk about this: do you think this Punisher is going to be a flash in the pan character, like somebody we're just going to see for 12 to 24 issues and then we'll never see again, or do you think Marvel's going to try and force him into being a legacy character?
I don't think for me, I personally don't think he's gonna last that long.
You don't think so?
But for me, no. I think too many people are going to be against him. Frank Castle is a beloved character, and then yeah, they got to be if they're going to have the Joe Garrison. I think he's got to be a lot more unique. Something has to be different
Right.
about him. I don't
Now,
think
is he
he's
American
too
or
much.
is he British?
Not too sure.
I don't know.
And look at that, we got Uncle Gary in the comments too, saying the new Hulk book is really good.
Uncle Gary and I, if you watch After Dark, we give praise to the Incredible Hulk on a weekly basis, and it is just cause for that too. That's another book that, like, Marvel is having more misses than hits, but the hits that they're having are very solid. I'm not going to say they're they're home runs, but they are solid books. The Incredible Hulk is an exception to that, and I think Sensational She-Hulk is also an exception to that too. Daredevil is very solid. It's 2 issues right now. The first issue will leave you kind of on the fence, but I think when you read the second issue, that'll push you over. Amazing Spider-Man is what it is. He's tangled in his own web at this point. Um, but yeah, Daredevil's good. The Avengers is great. I've heard great things about Avengers Inc. Ghost Rider, which is coming
There,
to an
and
end.
Uncle Gary just said he has
Yeah,
also been enjoying Ghost Rider.
yep, exactly. I know Ghost Rider's coming to an end soon.
And a new one's coming out next year. I was hearing that.
That's
There
right.
was a
And
new
the
Ghost
Danny
Rider next
Ketch
year.
Ghost Rider series just ended a month or so ago.
There's some
Uh,
really cool covers. I really like the
yeah.
covers.
Oh, yeah. Dan says the book wasn't bad, referencing the Punisher. It's just that the new one isn't any different than Frank. So why bother making a new one? I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I've talked enough, Sonny. What are you looking forward to?
Al Capone Vampire. There's a real comic book that is
Tell me
coming out.
more.
All I know is that there's a comic book coming out called Al Capone Vampire, and I just saw it like a few minutes ago, and I'm like, wow, there's many vampires out there. I know Abraham Lincoln was a vampire. Apparently now Al Capone's a vampire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our finger on the pulse of comic book news.
Perfectly put. Maybe one day there could be Sonny Kruger vampire.
Ooh,
A
that'd be
man can
amazing.
dream. I already have that kind of schedule. I mean, I'm up all night, sleep during the day, so
Yeah. There you go.
I'm almost there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Is there
I'm looking
anything
a
else
bit white
you're
right now. I'm looking a bit pale right now. So
is there anything else you're looking forward to that's coming out or that is ongoing at the moment?
we're pretty much sure talking about the ones, and me, I got
Yeah,
the older stuff to go through. So
fair enough.
yeah, and
Uh,
then with X-Men later on, I am interested to see how they will end their Krakoa era. I'm interested to
yes,
see how that will come to an end.
I'm waiting for that to finish up so that way I can jump back into X-Men because the Fall of X I have heard and seen is just a convoluted mess. It's very confusing. And some issues don't even reference that they're a tie-in to the Fall of X when they most definitely are. Here's
Very,
what
very
Dan.
hard to
Yeah,
get on board. But
here's Dan's last bit. Yeah, go ahead, Sonny.
Dan says they'll definitely bring Frank back at some point. He's too popular a character to get rid of. With the way they tie with the way they tie everything to the MCU, they'll probably bring him back when he appears on. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I would agree with that.
The Daredevil show.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
see that.
agree
Yep.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Before we jump on to things, one thing I'm excited about is how you were saying, Tim, before with the Marvels and the Photon Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau. I hope she does really good because a while ago I had in my mail call, I did have um,
Her
the
first
the first issue.
it's her first solo
Yeah, her
series,
first
right?
solo issue one of
Yeah,
her solo series. I'm like,
that was
"Good, as long as
surprising
it
to
helps
see.
me, yeah,
That was a money book there, Sonny.
yes, So that's why I'm definitely rooting
Yeah.
for her. Just like I was rooting for Blue Beetle. Like because I got those.
I have yet to see that. That's still on
I
my
hear it's
list.
really good. I haven't seen it. I need to see it. One of
Mhm.
my youngest nephew, little Eddie, he saw it and he loves it. So
Nice. Well, it's all that matters.
yeah.
All
And
right.
more things we're excited about is one thing I love to get, and that's it's mail call. So here we go. Some
Let
comics
me
I've
get
gotten
you front and center there, Sonny.
lately.
Not me, you.
Okay, so stuff I've gotten lately. Before a while ago, I was talking about how I was collecting all of the Cage comic books. So let me
Did you
get
get the
to.
rest?
I did finish. So before I had issues 1 through 14. I showed those a while ago, so
Yes.
we don't need to show them all right now, but there's a quick little thing of all the Cage comic books,
That's
1
wonderful.
through 14. I did my research, and there is Cage, the 92 series, has no annuals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had 1 through 14, and then I got issue number 15.
Is that the
And then,
last issue?
nope, that goes with the Nor Love Nor Money story arc, part 2 of 6. And that is with the crossover of Luke Cage, Silver Sable, and the Wild Pack, and Terror
Ooh.
Inc. And then, there we go, issue 16 of Cage, which is part 5 of No Love No Money.
Nice.
And I see in the comments, Dan says there's a new Luke Cage book coming out soon. That'd be cool. I like Luke Cage, obviously,
Nice.
since I'm showing all these Luke Cage comic books.
I think right now he's mayor of New York.
Oh, wow. Cage, issue number 17. What does that say? It says Luke Cage killed his mother.
Oh,
It says on the Chicago special. One thing I like too is that this Cage series takes place in Chicago, where I
yep.
live. And here's Cage 18.
Oh, that is a nice cover.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting cover.
Yeah.
And then this one, Cage 19, Cage on a
Ooh.
Rampage. Really, I gotta say, he really reminds me of Etrigan the Demon right there.
Yeah, right on.
Because as soon as I see the cover, I'm like, wait a minute, he can't have a crossover with Etrigan. And then finally, I complete my collection of Cage 92 with Cage issue number 20. This is it, the end of Cage.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
but
you got a full series to read.
I do. I've read the first four issues, and then like the next four are part of a story arc. So I'm like, okay, I'll get to that later.
So
But
what
also,
do you like the first 4 issues you've
I
read so far?
I am enjoying, especially one of them, issue number 4, I believe it was. I had as a kid. It was with Cage and the Punisher and Nitro, and that
Ooh,
was for me. I felt like I felt with each issue, it's starting to get better and better. So
nice. The series is catching its footing.
yeah, I would say
Yeah.
I'd say the first
Nice.
two were kind of getting caught up, and then 3, and then 4. I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
But I had some more comic books I got, and one of them was the Hulk 404, like the
Oh,
Hulk Juggernaut.
lean it a
Or
little towards you. There
there,
you go.
yeah.
That
Look
looks
at that, the
good.
Hulk and Juggernaut versus the Avengers,
Wow.
and some more that I got was X Force 28.
That is Greg Capullo art, if I am not mistaken.
Oh,
Should see a GC somewhere at the bottom.
I'm trying to find it, Tim.
I'll find it
Well,
for you. What issue number is that?
X Force number 28.
I got you.
And then too, a big X-Men fan, but also X Factor. So I got X Factor issue number 100.
Great issue.
That one I had been on the hunt for a while. I was glad to complete that on the hunt. And then this one,
That's
X-Men.
Tony Daniel did the interiors for that X-Force issue.
Okay.
Yep.
And then here's X-Men issue 52, The
Ooh.
Agony of Memory. So Bishop, you see a bit of Bishop's past. Right there looks like more of his past with Randall and Malcolm. And then on this
Yep.
side, looks like more of the Age of Apocalypse.
Yep. Right on.
So I'm interested in getting that one. And I must say, this one was been inspired by one of the comic character of the week episodes, and that is Wonder Man number 5.
Nice.
There we go. See Wonder Man and the Beast. So I'm like, yeah, I want that issue.
That's great.
And almost done. X-Men 2099 issue number 5, and that goes
Nice.
with the Fall of the Hammer. Yeah, Fall of the Hammer part 3 of 5.
Okay. And that was a series wide
Yeah,
storyline.
crossover
Yeah.
event. Yeah,
Yeah.
with all the 2099
All of them. Yep.
all series, and then X-Men 2099 issue 13, and I believe that character is Brimstone Love. I believe because I had an
Ooh,
action figure. I'm very sure his name is Brimstone Love.
okay.
And then before I was mentioning For Love Nor Money, and there you go. Got Silver Sable and the Wild Pack issue 14. For Love Nor Money part 6. I think I only need one of the parts left, and it's one of the Terror Inc. issues.
Nice.
And finally, to
Dan
wrap up,
says real quick, he says X-Men was his favorite 2099 series. He still has the complete run.
nice, very nice,
Yeah.
Dan Kelly. And now I did get one trade paperback, and that is The Punisher, Max,
Ooh.
The Slavers. So,
Garth Ennis.
yep. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm like, yeah, I have a lot more Punisher to read before I move on to Joe Garrison. And that wraps up my mail call for this episode.
That is wonderful, Sonny.
Tim, what about you? Any mail calls lately for you, my friend?
A lot of stuff that I've gotten you can see on After Dark, but I will be more than happy to show you some that I have within reach right now. This is stuff that's been on After Dark before, but I don't mind to show it again.
Cool, cool.
So this is a trade that I got through Atomic Avenue. If you guys have not used that site to buy comic books, I highly recommend it. It's a virtual comic store with a bunch of different people selling their stuff. Some good prices, some high prices, some great deals. This being one of them. I think I paid $15 for this. This is G.I. Joe versus Transformers hardcover by Dynamic Forces and Devil's Due Publishing. Take a peek at that right there.
There you go. Cool cover. Yeah. And
Yeah,
you said, how much did
nothing
you get
on
that
the
one?
back. Paid $15 for it. I looked it
Okay.
up online,
Good.
and from what I was seeing, it goes for around 150.
Whoa.
Yeah,
150
so
down to 15. So
that was pretty
not bad.
cool.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. I did get a mail call from Heroes Corner Comics. If you haven't seen them, go check them out, guys. HeroesCornerComics.com. You can use keyword code X to save 20% at checkout. I got 2 books from them. One I paid for, the other they used as kind of a buffer, which is cool. But this book is one I got for Uncle Gary. If you don't know, him and I are trying to complete my Spectre Volume 3 run with Ostrander and Mandrake. Doing the writing and artwork respectively. But on Heroes Corner Comics, on Heroes on their Insiders Facebook page, they had this book available, and this was one Uncle Gary needed, and I was able to get it for him. This is going out in the mail to him very shortly. But this is Ghost Rider number 93.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is
Ghost Rider, two brides for a demon.
That's
Well, look
right.
at that.
This is the
Look at that.
last issue in the series and one of the harder ones to find. I was able to get it at a really great price and I couldn't pass it up. The other book that came in with it that was used as a buffer is from Vault Comics. This is called Unnatural Order. Take a peek at that right there. This is something I've never heard of before, so I'm very interested to check it out.
Cool. I like the colors on that cover.
Yeah, I do
Nice. Yeah.
too. Uncle Gary, no, thank you, sir, for allowing me to get that for you. That was a lot of fun. I like seeing deals like that and helping people out, helping you out. Now you can say whenever you pull that book out and show people, you can be like, Tim helped me increase my collection exponentially. And yeah.
Tim, I need X-Men issue 11. And every time I pull it out, I will tell people Tim did this. Tim
There you
bought this.
go. And the last one I'm going to show you is a signature book that I remember I had in my collection while Dan and I were having a conversation the other day. So this is The Visitor from Valiant Comics. This is issue number 4. And the artwork was done by a very young Bernard Chang at the time. And it's going to be kind of difficult to see. But right here in the birthmark area, you can barely see it. His signature
Okay, because I could see that there's
is
something
in
written.
there.
Okay, but signature. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote it in gold. So there is that. But Sal, this book's on its way to you when you tell me to send you my big stack of comic books with signatures. So this one's going to get a CBCS grading on it too. So
Nice.
yeah,
Tim, I love how this episode you were appearing and disappearing multiple times. We may have to have more Hitman background pictures for you.
that's wonderful. Yeah, his scope can't zero in on me, so it's having trouble.
Nice. Well, awesome mail call for you, for me.
Yeah,
We love surprise, surprise, everybody. We at the Codex Station love getting mail calls, and we love getting comic books.
that's right.
And you know what else we love doing? And that's putting out more content for everybody.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
now we move on to our works. Yeah, so we've been having a lot. We had some interviews coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a bit of issues, but there will be an interview coming out lately, or coming out soon. Also, I had a one shot, and I'll tell you a little bit about my one shot with Patrick Hickey Jr. He is the writer of the minds behind the games series. He wrote comic books called like The Job and Contra, and he's a co-founder of a comic book company called Legacy Comics. And we were chatting, and I got my one shot with him. We said, okay, let's chat. You know, we read on the one shot at the time, and then what do you know? Computers having problems. And I'm
That
like,
was
sorry,
the
man.
day of computer issues.
Oh yeah, it was this past Monday. I'm like, oh, it's having problems. Sorry about that. It's a few minutes late,
Yeah.
and then more time. Another thing messes up. Then I'm like, my computer's just not doing it. So I have to get my Maria's laptop. And then it's like, okay, this one needs updates, and this one was taking a while.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, man, I'm like, I understand if you need to do it another time. And he was real cool. Like, no, don't worry, we could still do it. So it was like half an hour later than we thought it would be. And I had a great one shot, had a great time talking with him, asking the story behind how he made his own comic book company. It was really interesting stuff.
Nice.
And inspirational too to see somebody who, made a comic book and then eventually got his comic out and eventually, like I said, has his own comic book company now. So that one shot should be coming your way soon. And then
Nice.
we were talking more and even agreed on a full interview so soon. Yeah,
Even better.
we'll talk and have a full on interview. He's got a very interesting life, a lot of interesting jobs that he's done. So I'm looking forward to having a full on interview with him too.
Nice.
But maybe we'll have to do some editing on that one shot before we put it out. But speaking of editing, Tim, I have collected another PDF trophy
Oh, wow.
because a series about series, episode one pilot, won the Imaginary Mind Film Contest Award for Best Editor.
Really?
Hey, yes,
Wow.
so
That is
finally,
cool.
all those hours of editing finally got an award, laurel, whatever you want to call it. Just we'll call it an award. So yeah,
It is an award if it's printed out and put in a frame.
but then maybe somebody somewhere around the world is printed it out and put it in a frame. But
There
yeah,
you go.
I'll definitely print it up soon. It's on my Instagram.
Ah,
It's on my crew.
wonderful.
It's on my Kruger Sunny Instagram. But it was nice to win that. Nice to win
Yeah.
an editing award because, like I said, I'm editing every single day the series, even if it's little bits at a time. So
You
nice
put
to
a
get
lot of
that.
hard work into that episode. You deserve that award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and yeah. You know too. You do a lot of editing for the Codex Station, so
Sure
we
do.
know that editing, although it can be fun, it's just sometimes that it takes up time. You start
Yeah.
editing and then you look at the time. Oh, look at that! 2-3 hours have passed.
Yeah, I will tell you, for the Codex Station, I do a fair amount of it. Jamie and I are the two editors behind the scenes. He edits certain videos, I edit others. The one that that took the longest, but I had one of the greatest times editing was Uncle Gary's Emporium, the first one. That's 2.5 hours, and it took me 5 hours to edit. So that's no joke. Yeah, I love every minute of it. It's worth it to me. If you don't, if you love what you're doing, you don't work a day in your life. And I love what I do. So
Nice. And one thing, I know 2023 is coming to an end before we know it, but one of those goals for 2024, I'm like, I need to find more contests about podcasts, because I truly believe, no joke, not just like me patting myself in the back, but I truly believe that the Codex Station is up there with the top podcasts. I believe in our station, all our shows. So I would like to find us some contests to enter. The only thing is that
agreed.
sometimes the podcast contests I found have been like ones that like tell stories or like somebody like talking,
We got that.
telling
We got
stories. So
that
yeah,
too.
we can try to get to decoding panels if it is like how would I put it? They're usually like making up a story. Like that's usually how.
I rewrite it so we don't get sued for plagiarism. So there you go.
And then we do get one with your original comic book. So there we go.
That is true. Yeah, and if it gets to 100 views, I will take some serious time out to write a 6 issue story arc and see what I can do about getting it published.
Yeah, so everybody check that out. Get
Hmm.
Tim those 100 views so that I can put him on
Yeah,
the spot on the show and say it's got 100 views. Tim, what are the updates? We want
get
updates
started.
now.
Yeah, I've already got it plotted out. I just have to write it. I'm just waiting for those 100 views. Tell me you want it, and I'll do it.
I want it, Tim. I want it so bad.
Well, 99 other people need to say the same thing.
Get on, people. Check it out.
There you go. Yeah, got a lot of stuff coming for Codex. We've got tons of interviews out right now, lots of new ones. The Mike Grell interview came out a little while ago. Bob McLeod, Tom Mandrake. Geez, I have to go look. There's so many.
There's so many, yeah. And
Um,
Dan did comment too. Dan says
oh
it will.
yeah,
Dan says it will take a while to edit together all the different videos for the JG Jones interview.
that is correct. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking now. We are at 1,050 subscribers at the moment. Thank you very much. I was
Thank you.
hoping we would hit that today, and we did. That is amazing. Let's see here. The new episode for Comic Character of the Week, Plastic Man, is out right now. Tomorrow, we are doing the live stream for Comic Character of the Week, and that character will be Storm. So check that out. There is also Sal and Uncle Gary's review of Camelot 3000. I highly recommend not sleeping on that. Go check that review out. It is an in-depth discussion about what they say is an amazing series, and I believe one of Uncle Gary's favorites. And it's led me to want to check it out. Also, Wes has a new unboxing. The Jeff Johnson interview is out right now. Guys, there's a ton of stuff out now. Don't forget Kristen's review of White Knight Harley Quinn. Plus, she's got something coming out this Saturday, which is the origin of the Joker's smile. It's less than 10 minutes, guys, but it is incredibly informative. So please watch that when it hits at noon on Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Plus, there's a ton of other stuff going on in the background that is either in the works, already set to be done, including interviews, new reviews, new specials, and things like that. There's so much stuff, guys, and I can't wait for you to see all of it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming for the Codex Station. And like we said, before you know it, the year will come to an end and we will finish off with the Codex Awards.
Yeah, that's right. I'm excited for that too. The 3rd annual Codex Awards.
Yeah, so coming your way soon at the end of next month, towards the end of the year.
That's right. Yep. I can even give you the exact date that we'll have it.
December 30th.
December 30th. It's on a Saturday. And I think we're going to be starting around 8 or 9 that night. Probably 8 or 9 Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be a lot of fun too. Most everybody from Codex will be there, if not everybody.
Nice. So like we said, yeah. You know, Dan says the Codys.
The Codys.
You know. With that, we can move on to somebody who does not deserve any awards. And that is our F lister. So Tim, will you hit that button to get us started with the F list?
I will.
Today, the Ringmaster joins the F list. And there he is. What looks like a wedding ring. Look at this. He got like a ring to cover his eyes. He says, "You've just met your match."
I bet.
His outfit is blue with a bunch of rings all over it. There he is with the Flash.
The
This
lure of the Ringmaster.
Yep. And look at that. If you notice, the Flash has skates on in that one before.
Did he? Hang on.
Yeah.
So he does.
Yeah. And there he is again.
Is that his first appearance there? Is that why you chose that cover?
No, there's just not many. That might be his first appearance. His first appearance is right. Yes, that's his first appearance. That one was.
And then there's this one too.
There you go.
Beautiful 9.8.
That one's for sale. You know, the 9.8. So there we go.
Wonderful.
CCC, yeah. There he is throwing rings. And then there you go. The main picture for Ringmaster. So Tim, do you want to tell us the history behind Ringmaster?
Yeah, so Ringmaster was and is the inspiration for a major pop music hit, the legendary Beyonce song. If you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. That was his catchphrase, and he sold it to Beyonce for just $1.
Look at all the rings he has on his fist.
Exactly. He's got more catchphrases to share along, but he was able to get royalty rights after that. So for every time she said it in a song or on the street, he gets $1. So now he's a multimillionaire supervillain. But I digress. So his origins are as follows. One day walking down the road, he saw this big giant hula hoop in the distance, but lo and behold, it was this ring, this magical, powerful ring that he stood on. He was just mild-mannered Ringinus Johnson. just doing his thing. The ring was the one to consume them all, and it consumed him, and he was super corrupted to stand on it and balance perfectly and fight the Flash. So he has no speed, he has no agility, but he does have that ring, and as long as he elevates higher than the Flash can jump, he'll never get caught.
And what did you say his actual name was again?
Ringinus Johnson.
Venus Johnson.
Yep, that's
I
his
like
name.
that. I like that better than his actual name. Ready for this, Tim?
Yes, go ahead.
The actual name of the ringmaster is Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, I'm joking.
What?
That was the rest.
You're not wrong.
Before he was Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was the ringmaster. Okay, but this ringmaster, the DC's ringmaster's real name is Bayugard Bayu Bayer.
Come on.
Yeah, that is his actual name. Yes.
Ringinus Johnson. We're
Yeah.
sticking with that.
Rinus Johnson is better than Bayugard, Bayu Bayer. And yes, he was the affiliate. He was an ally of the Golden Glider. She was on one of the covers there. His base
Mm.
of operations is in Central City. I'm getting this from DC Fandom. And
I think
yes,
it's this one right here.
yeah, there she is. And she
Yep.
actually was to trick him. And now, we have one writer on this show, but there's also another writer. Well, Tim, you do some writing too. So you're also a writer. But you know who else is a writer?
Is it Ringinus Johnson?
It's Bayu Bayer Ringmaster. He is a writer. That is his job. He is a writer. He is
Of course
single.
it is.
That's why he's able to get tricked by Golden Glider.
Wow.
Yeah. And then two. His first appearance was in The Flash 261 in May of 1978. His last appearance was only 3 issues later in The Flash 264 in August of 1978. And the Ringmaster was a pawn for Golden Glider's hypnosis. Yes, he was an author who fell for the Golden Glider. She was the one she got him to do. She got him to under her spell and got him to go against the Flash
Wow.
for the death of her lover. That was why she wanted her revenge. So she randomly chose a writer to, because us writers, we have a really tough reputation.
Right.
So that's why she chose Bayu to be the guy that she would give these Ringmaster powers to take on the Flash, and it sent him up to Central City as the newest superhero, deliberately upstaging the Flash somehow, and then stole Iris Allen from
Oh.
the glider. The Golden Glider also hypnotized her.
So that would be most likely this issue then, right here.
There we go. Yep, he is
Yeah.
taking her, trying to get her. Yeah. So then the glider then
See, and it's
realized.
like I said, as long as he's up higher than the Flash can jump, he'll never be caught.
See, you knew it. And you know what? The ladies love Ringmaster because as this was going on, he's trying to take Iris. Then the Golden Glider started to fall for him. She
Oh.
started to like him herself. And then she tried to murder Iris and tried to frame the Flash for it. But everything, falls into place and the Flash defeats them both. And then actually the Ringmaster says, yeah, Bayer, freed from Glider's control, hung up his rings for good. So he was just a villain for those couple issues when he was under the Golden Glider's hypnosis. So he really wasn't that bad of a guy. He was just kind of tricked into doing it. And
He
the
just
equipment of
flew too close to the sun.
Yep, on all those 50,000 rings he has. And the equipment, surprise, surprise, the Ringmaster carried special rings which could perform a variety of offensive functions, such as well as enabling him to fly, as we can see right there. He flies in a giant ring. And the notes, yeah, so
Do the rings powers include holy matrimony or combined taxes or
they really don't. They don't
no?
do
Okay.
much.
All
He
right.
can fly, he can kind of look cool on them. And like I said, it's basically the Golden Glider. She's the one who puts people under hypnosis, and that's why somehow he was able to upstage the Flash and some of I don't know what they were doing. I'm really curious as to see why. Maybe somehow maybe the Golden Glider, maybe she hypnotized the Flash to put on skates, and he wasn't as fast with them or something. Because we
Right.
saw in one of the pictures the Flash had ice skates on.
I will be more than happy to put that picture back up.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, the lore of the Ringmaster. And yeah, for some reason, the Flash is on ice skates as Ringmaster's just flying around on his rings and impressing the ladies like Iris and the Ringmaster.
I got a lot of rings, ladies. Which one would you like to wear?
Truly, yeah. So, like you said, Like you were saying that Beyonce song, if you want to put, put a finger on it, he's got plenty of rings, so he could be passing out rings all along.
Like I said, he was the inspiration for that song, and he sold the rights to use the catchphrase, but he gets royalty payments. Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
he's gonna be paying a lot of ladies because he had a lot of rings to get rid of. So,
that's right. Yeah.
but yeah, so the ringmaster, he was like I said, he was defeated, and then he went back to his old ways. So for me, when I asked, do you think the ringmaster can get out of the F list? For me, I think he can. I think there isn't too much to him. Right? It's not like, oh, he's gone too far, or he did something horrible to Iris or anybody. He was, like I said, just a writer guy, tricked by the Golden Glider, was sort of a villain for a couple issues, defeated, and then went his own way. So he didn't continue on. He wasn't like, oh, I want
Right.
revenge on the Flash for beating me. I think, obviously the the outfit isn't too cool. The ringmaster, just a bunch of rings on him. But I think the ringmaster with that long name, Beauregard, Bayou Bayer, that he should change his name, just call him B or Bayou or something.
Ringinus Johnson. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
truly change it to Ringness
Telling you.
Johnson. I think the ringmaster can get out of the F list. How about you?
If he comes out of retirement, possibly. But it all depends upon if he has a ring resizer or has gotten any new stuff, to do because the gimmick didn't work. It worked for 3 issues,
Yeah,
and
he
he
could have gained
realized
weight
that.
and now he needs to get a new ring size.
Right, exactly. So, yeah. If he can catch up with the times, maybe. If not, then I think he's happy to stay where he's at.
All right, so there we go. There is the ringmaster, Beauregard Bayou Bayer.
This was one of the safer F listers that you have that you have done so far.
So yeah, looking at him like, oh yeah, he actually is pretty safe. Yeah.
Uncle Gary said after last week's segment he was afraid to watch this one. Don't worry, man. We only made a mess last week. It's all been cleaned up. Good to go.
Yeah, last week a mess. This week, just the rings, the ringmaster, and now we got everybody thinking it's going to be calm, and then wait till we have next week.
Exactly. I don't even know. Sonny doesn't tell us until he sends the pictures in chat about an hour before. So there you go.
Wait till you see the Poop King.
Oh
No,
my
I'm,
god.
I'm joking. Who knows? Maybe we just made a character right now.
Ooh, amazing. I'll
The
get
Poop
started
King.
on
He's
it.
he's made of poop, and he throws poop at you.
If this episode gets 100 likes, then I'll start writing the origin for the Poop King.
You know what? And I will draw us a picture of him. I will draw like a face picture of him. And Dan Kelly, you're not on this episode right now, but we're gonna volunteer you to draw a full body pic of the
Done.
Poop King
Done.
if it's done. I'm gonna come back to this, Tim. I'm gonna look at this, and if it passes 100, I'm gonna be like, Tim,
All right.
we have some work to do.
It's got to be 100 likes, though, not 100 views.
Okay, now it's 100 likes. Okay,
Yep.
maybe a while, but like I said, even if it's 5 years from now, I will remember, Tim, and I will come back. And be like,
Tim, you
Tim,
remember
we
what you
said
said?
we
Damn,
have
Sonny. Yeah. Okay. All right.
we have unfinished business. The
Let's get to
fans need the Poop King, and then we get sued because it's like somebody else has the Poop King.
Oh my god.
And Dan says, I missed it. Dan, we were coming up with a character named the Poop King, and you can draw his full body picture if we get 100 likes on this episode.
This episode right here.
Yeah, Poop King, a guy made of poop who throws poop.
Yes, exactly.
So should be very fun. Make
He
sure we
has
got
a
a lot of.
gun called the fecal matter processor. So
There we go. Just to make him even worse. Just to make him more of a piece of you know what.
yeah, yeah. He has a shield called Depends.
There you go.
Never mind. All right, moving on.
Okay, we move on. All right.
This is
But
smelly and disgusting.
but you know who Poop King would come across possibly in his life?
Who
He
is
would
that?
possibly come across Hitman.
Ooh,
So I think it's time, Tim, that we go on to our main event of the evening, and that is our review. So, everyone, if you're just joining us, I'm Sonny. I'm joined by Tim, and we are from the Kodak Station
mhm.
reviewing Hitman issue number 34 of the I Sing. And as usual, Tim will start us off with the credits.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. So, Hitman number 34, the cover you just saw. I'll throw it up there again for you while I read the credits. It's from DC Comics, came out in February of 1999. The writer is Garth Ennis. Artwork goes to John McCrara. Inks to Gary Leach, colors to Carla Fenney, and letters. This is a name we've heard before, and I really love this name, Patricia Prentice.
There we
So
go.
there you go.
All right, I will give us a bit of a run through of this story. This is a one shot, it is one issue,
Hmm.
and it was the 1999 winner of the Eisner Award for Best Single Issue. So this is Hitman issue number 34. Hitman is standing on a rooftop. He's about to make a hit, but then suddenly somebody comes there, and it's Superman. Superman doesn't uh, even realize that Hitman is there, and Superman's, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can go." And Hitman's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Superman." And then even as they're chatting a little bit, Hitman's trying to be on his best behavior. He's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, sorry, I said freaking, and I don't mean to talk like
Oh,
that."
I'm smoking in front of you.
Yeah,
Is that okay? I can put it out if you want.
yeah, and even like I said, yeah, he put it out. Even Superman's like, "You can do what you want." He's like, "But if only you could see how much damage it's doing to
Yeah.
you." Tim, take that one.
I don't know what
Take
you're talking
Superman's words to heart.
about.
All right, so they're chatting, and Superman is actually down.
Hmm.
Tommy Manigan, Superman is going up the regular day. He's going for his hit, and Superman's really down because for once he did not get to save somebody. So he's like, "Oh, you probably don't want to hear my story." And Hitman's like, "No, go ahead, man, tell me." And Superman is telling the story of how there's astronauts, and he was saving, like a typical Superman, right? He's saving the day, but suddenly
Hmm.
he notices one of the astronauts, Kennedy, and he suddenly sees him, and he says, "I could tell by the look in his eyes. He was thinking, Superman, you're supposed to save me." And before Superman knew it, exploded, and Kennedy died. So Superman he's haunted by that, and that's why he's come to this rooftop in Gotham City. Yeah, Hitman does take place in Gotham. So he even says, "Oh, well, you're going to meet up with Batman." And he says, "Oh, Batman kind of is doing something else." Batman kind of he mourns privately. Batman is not the guy to talk to about your
Hmm.
feelings. So in this issue, I thought it was pretty interesting that it's you'd expect that Superman is the one saving the day. And in this issue, it's more of Hitman who is helping Superman. He's being there for
Hmm.
him to talk to. And I like that Hitman, he has his ways. Maybe it's something that Superman needs somebody different to tell him. And Hitman is telling him, like, man, you're so great, because Superman's saying, "Oh, I have all these responsibilities. Everyone believes in me. They expect me to always be there to save the day and never to mess up." And Hitman's like, "Man, but that's not real. You're allowed to make mistakes." And he does tell him, he says, "You're everything that's great with this country." It's very, how there's Superman with truth, justice, and the American way. I know
Yeah.
it's changed now to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, but back then it was truth, justice, and the American way. And this really felt like it because, and Tommy Manigan, Hitman, was telling Superman, like, "You're everything that's great with this country." He says, "You got everybody." He says, "All these people come from all these different countries, but then they come here and they stick onto old ways, and they hate people from other countries that they hated back in the day, or that their countries fought, but they come to the US and they still hate them." I think it's very interesting with what's going on right now in the world with
Hmm.
this issue, like, and Tommy's saying, "We're all here, we're all Americans now." And Superman, you're what's the best about this country. You came here, you said, "Yeah, I'm from Krypton, but here I am. I'm an American now. What can I do to help?" And Hitman motivated Superman to
Hmm.
say, "You are what's great in this country. You are, basically, you're awesome, and you're allowed to make mistakes. It happens." And Superman, even in the end, it's Superman who thanks Hitman, and Hitman does, by the way, can I get your autograph? Even Superman's like, "Yes, for a little girl, okay." And then Hitman's all happy that he met Superman. Oh, and he does even say too, he's like, "Hey, could you put to all the boys at Noonan's?"
Yeah.
And then Superman leaves, and it's all nice. And then Hitman still has to do what he's got to do. And then he pulls out his gun, boom, and he kills Figs.
Yep.
And he completes his mission. So that is the run through. I basically ran you through the whole story of Hitman 34 of the I Sing. Like I was saying, I really enjoyed that. This is a very dialogue heavy issue.
Hmm.
And I thought it was really interesting to see this because before I've really been getting into Hitman, so I've been checking out a lot of his stories, his first appearance in the Demon Annual #2. I checked out the story of 10,000 Bullets. So I've been reading a lot of Hitman, and then got to this issue, so I was pretty familiar with him, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting take to see. I was like, okay, how is Garth Ennis going to do Superman? And I felt that I felt Garth did a really good job with the dialogue of making Superman seem like Superman. So like, these are things he
Mhm.
would say, things he would do, and I really like John McCrea's artwork, or everybody's artwork of the characters. I felt they really looked like Superman, how I picture Superman.
Mhm.
And yes, I
This
thought
is not artwork from that issue, by the way.
you're right. That is from
Yeah,
another crossover between the
that's right.
two. But yeah, it was a great issue for me. I thought the one thing was that I thought the way the character of Kennedy died, I'm like, I don't really see it being something. I think Superman would have been able to save the day. I think many other writers would have made it that for Superman not to save somebody, it would have to be bigger. Like I think he would start to hear an explosion or something and be able to save him. But other than that, like I said, I really enjoyed the issue. Like I said, it's dialogue heavy,
Mhm.
and like I said, I thought it was cool how Hitman was able to help Superman out. I thought the characters, like I said, were true to themselves, to each other, true Hitman, true to Superman. I feel this is a great issue. I feel definitely worth. I feel it's worth recommending to others. That's why, like I
Mhm.
said earlier, but I've read it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, we should definitely review this one day on the podcast. And then here, the day has already come. So I think this is a great issue. For me, Sonny Kruger at the Codex Station. Give Hitman #34 of the I Sing a 9.2 out of 10.
Ooh, 9.2 out of 10. Okay.
And Tim, I've done quite a bit of talking, running us through it, gave my reviews and talking about it. So now, Tim, what do you think of Hitman #34?
So, right off the bat, this is master storytelling done in 23 pages. There's no way around that. Won the Eisner Award, and rightfully so. The artwork holds throughout the story. I don't think that it is the shining point of the book, although it is good. I didn't know a whole lot about Hitman coming into this. So this is a really good issue to introduce somebody to the character, because if you go in blind like I did, the ending I think is even more powerful, because if you know nothing about who he is and what he does, then the ending of the book is more impactful, right? And I'll get to that in a minute. Excuse me. The book itself is a perfect representation of how people should be versus how people perceive them to be. And let me break that down for you. So Sonny, where you think that Superman could have saved the guy, I don't think he could have, because it really came down to, because in this scene, guys, he's holding this door or something to this nuclear reactor closed, so that way the astronauts inside the space shuttle can escape in this lander. The ship was supposed to go to Mars. The nuclear reactor they had attached to the shuttle was supposed to get them to Mars in 10 weeks instead of 2 years. It was supposed to be revolutionary, but as it passed the moon, things went awry. Superman was pulling watch duty at the watchtower, so he was able to go and help. When he gets there, he discovers, or at least he's led to believe, that the captain of the space shuttle, Kennedy, was killed trying to put a stop to this. So he's doing everything he can to let the remaining astronauts escape, and that's what he's doing. He's not using his X-ray vision. He's not doing anything of that nature. He's just trying to make sure these guys can get out, and they do. And as he's standing there and he turns to look, who's trapped under some debris but that astronaut, that the captain of the space shuttle at that time, and them two lock eyes for all of a second, and Superman can move faster than a speeding bullet, and he's more powerful than a locomotive, but even the most powerful super being on Earth can't be everywhere at once. And this is a great example of having to choose who you are versus who people perceive you to be. And Kennedy looks at him, and he has that look in his eyes that Superman's seen too many times. You're Superman. I know I'm safe. and he looks at Kennedy and he knows that he can't save him, right? And Superman has to do what Superman has to do, which is save the other guys, let them escape. And unfortunately, Kennedy had to die because of that. He couldn't save them all, right? And I think this comic does a great way of telling that story. I think Garth Ennis did fantastic doing that. Now, this comic also is a damn near perfect representation of current times. Now, this book came out in 1999, right? So over 20 years ago. It is very reflective of how the world and most importantly, our country is today. And Sonny, you did a great job of going over that whole segment of what Hitman had to say about, Superman is the ultimate immigrant, right? And
Yeah.
he showed up from Krypton and he said, hey, I'm American now. What can I do to help? And Hitman had a lot of interesting points to make. He's like, we all come from these different places, but we hold on to these values and we hold on to these other things from these places that we didn't want to be in anymore, or that we chose to leave to come over here, and we still hold on to the same hate, and we still hold on to the same frustrations, and we still hold on to all these other things against other people that we never, had anything to do with in the first place, right? So why is that? Why is that? But like he said, Superman is everything great about what America is, right? He's a representation of that. But he's also a representation, excuse me, of how people can be towards him, right? And this book goes over that perfectly. I mean, with what's going on in today's world, right? You've got two major wars going on. They're pretty major, and you've got a lot of emotional tension going on between different races and religious points of view, and things of that nature. And I think everybody needs to read this as a reminder of how we should really act, how we should really represent ourselves, right? Because in the end, we're all Americans, we're all in this together, right? And there's no other way around that. And if you're just going to continue to hate people, it sucks living with all that hate, right? It's
Yeah.
got to go somewhere, and you can't point it towards the people you want to point it to because that's wrong,
Yeah, and even
right?
like Hitman said, he said this is, America is called the melting pot, so people
Exactly.
do come here to change, to learn, to be
And I
American.
think
Yeah,
I think people forget that or have forgotten that. We are America was born on not wanting to pay our taxes. We were born on molding a bunch of different cultures together into one. No one American is true American unless you're Native American, right? Uh,
look at us. We were not born here. I was
well,
born in England,
I was
and
born in Germany.
yeah, see,
But yeah, so I mean, the thing is my ancestry has people from all walks of life, all different countries, from Native American all the way over to the countries in Europe. You have the same thing, I'm sure,
yeah,
you're a mixture of a lot of
yeah,
things.
Irish, Mexican, yeah. So
Exactly. Yeah. And I think people forget that. And we need to remember that again. And at least in the comics community, read this issue, guys. This issue is a real big eye opener. And that leads me to my closing bit. Highly recommended as a case study in how comics are a reflection of society. We have talked about this at length several different times here on the Codex Station. Uncle Gary and I have talked about it. Sal and Dan, we've all talked about it on After Dark. Sonny, you and I and Jamie have talked about this numerous times. And we have even had Breaking the Codes about this as well. Uh, like I said, I'll say it again. I highly recommend this book as a case study in how comics are a reflection of society. If anybody thinks that that is incorrect, then you have no idea what you're reading, because all comic books are based off of reflections of society. We have a character here that is a representation of Jewish culture and immigration. We have the X-Men, which was done during the civil rights movement. They are a representative of what African Americans were going through at the time, along with other minorities.
yeah,
Uh,
even Professor X was, based on Martin Luther King Jr. and
E
Magneto after Malcolm X.
exactly, and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. So that brings me to my rating. The writing gets a, well-earned and well-deserved 10 out of 10. Garth Ennis did a fantastic job. The artwork gets a very solid 8. It reminded me the artwork anyways, reminded me more of something I would see in a backup story in an annual than what should be done for a main series, but maybe that's par for the course for the series and the character itself. I don't know. This is the first Hitman issue I've ever read. So it gets an 8. Overall, the issue gets a well-earned 9 out of 10.
Nice. So there we go.
We are
9
very
point.
close.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for you, 9.2 out of 10 for me. After
Mhm.
this conversation, I thought this was a very good review. My
Yeah.
rating is probably going to go up. I can tell that, yeah. But yeah, so there we go. High praise all around for Hitman, issue number 34 of the I Sing Us the Codex Station. Cannot recommend it enough. We hope you check it out and that you enjoy,
Here it
and maybe
is.
even learn a little something. But yeah, enjoy Hitman, issue number 34.
Yep.
There we go. And Tim, now we could wrap this episode up, but before we go, we could say that next week we are set to be back for another episode of the Codex podcast, and we are set to review Scott Sanders' Claire, which Jamie picked out. Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll be back to the three of us, me,
Mhm.
Tim, and Jamie. And now, for me, Sonny Kruger, I will wrap this up by just saying, see you later, take care of yourself, be safe, and like the issue we were reading, be more peaceful to each other, everybody. Crazy times in the world, and the world needs more peace and love and a bit more fun too. So do something, enjoy yourself, read a comic book, go out, or stay in, do what makes
Yeah.
you be happy, and or host a podcast like we do here.
There you go.
So Tim, I will let you nicely wrap this thing up and finish it off and send it to the moon.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to find us on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station, and that is where we will be. Your favorite social media platform or where we live stream right now. Make sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and follow button. It definitely does help get the word out about the Codex Station, the station that you love and enjoy, and we want more people to feel the same way you do when you watch content that we provide for you on a regular basis. Once again, at the Codex Station. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we got a snazzy new website. Go ahead and head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Go ahead, get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Sal did a wonderful job on the new website for the Codex Station. So go check that out and enjoy absolutely golf claps all around. Thecodexstation.com, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the guys that are here on Codex, you can find them at all their various spots on the interwebs. Sonny has a series about a series on YouTube. Go check that out. Sal is on YouTube also at Sal's Comic Corner. Dan is on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. We have this awesome place that we go to, Comic Character of the Day. All of us are in there. We all enjoy conversation. It's a great place to be, and we want you in there too. So join the conversation. Head over to facebook.com/comic character of the day.
That's where most of us met each other at the Codex Station. So yeah.
That is exactly correct. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Ashburn, Virginia area, make sure to head over to Uncle Gary's comic book shop that he co-owns with some great people. It's Comic Logic in Ashburn, Virginia. And you can also find him on Facebook at facebook.com/ye grumpier old nerds, where he does podcasts every Thursday. Go ahead and check all of that stuff out, guys. Now, as we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, even with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, Sonny said it best: read a comic book, go out and smell the roses, or sit and stare at the wall, or watch paint dry, or something like that. Unplug from the news, unplug from the misinformation, unplug from the bombardment of all this negativity that's going on right now, and just take a breath, right? It'll be okay. We're going to make it through this. We will be on the other side, all of us together, enjoying comic books, staples, and paper. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim the Terrible. This guy over here is Son of the Writer. This is the Codex Podcast right here on the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.